Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts Legendary Encounters. Today I have for you the often requested North Carolina versus Bismarck. These two ships should be fairly evenly matched, so let's have a look. Now, don't be scared, I was going to say, but here we are already. The North Carolina superstructure is bad. I could not get it the way I wanted to, sadly. The modern tower, 3 that is what I thought would fit best for this ship, based on how she looks. The secondary tower is a complete disaster for this design. The North Carolina displaced about 45,000 tons, and she's already a little over with this current design. Now, she is definitely not a modernized dreadnought, because that would, well, just completely not fit the ship. But if you lock in the modern Battleship 1, it means that you only get access to a couple of secondary towers, but not the type that I need. The type that I need is locked behind the bigger hull of the Iowa, the modern Battleship 2. That's when you get this secondary tower, and with that you can park the 5-inchers and various 2-inchers to make sure that she has the secondary armament that she deserves. Sadly, with this ship being North Carolina, you just don't get that. Now, I'm okay with going a little overboard when it comes to displacement. I don't mind the ship being 2,000 tons over, but the ship being about 11,000 tons over her designed weight versus what I have in the game, I don't think that that is correct. So you're getting this sad little thing of a secondary tower where she's supposed to have that other secondary tower. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's look at the rest of the ship. Pretty swift, 28 knots. She has, of course, maximum bulkheads to protect her very well. Further protection is being provided by a heavy barbette, anti-torpedo 2, and a triple hull bottom. Citadel 5, aka all or nothing armor scheme, anti-flood 2, and I just gave her standard bulkheads, but we might as well, we got some room. The ship is moved by 4 double-geared turbines, I think it was. And she's supposed to have electric drive of some form. I couldn't give her, the turboelectric drive, because that's something else. I looked into it, that is something else. So instead, I decided to give her electric batteries, which I know doesn't cover it, but at least it gives her quite a large amount of bonuses when it comes to turning turrets, turning the rudder, and of course, getting the ship fixed, because she's most likely going to get damaged. Now, when it comes to the armament, we have these 9 16-inch guns, which means that she has both more guns and bigger guns than Bismarck. But their reload is not great. I couldn't find out what the actual reload was supposed to be for these guns, so I set them at enhanced loading. Autoloaders was definitely not going to work, because that gave them too much of a rate of fire. Maybe semi-auto, but let me know down below in the comments whether this is what we should go with. Although by that point, of course, it'll be a little too late. I gave her heavy shells, because that's what I was able to find. Not super heavy shells, I think that's more of the Iowa era, but I could be wrong about that. And the ship is capable of taking a bunch of hits using a 12-inch armor belt, 6-inch forebelt, aft belt, and 5-inch main deck, foredeck, and aft deck. 12-inch conning tower and 16-inch turret armor with 7-inch top armor. When it comes to radar, it's really going to depend, apparently, on what year you look at the North Carolina. I set the year to 1940 because that's the latest you can get it. Now, considering that, let's say the Bismarck was sunk in 1941, they might have met before. And at that point, I think the North Carolina was only fitted with a surface search radar. She did not have an actual radar, from what I was able to find, that was able to guide her shells, or at least provide radar ranging information. So instead, she's getting a standard Tier 1 radar rangefinder as opposed to a Generation 2. Stereoscopic rangefinding should allow these shells to hit the target quite nicely. Now then, onto the Bismarck. As always, when you load in the design, the game goes nuts and does not like it. Also, for some reason, What did you do to my Bismarck? What the hell? I swear that I had all sorts of secondaries set up here. See, the game seems to remember some stuff, but not enough. What the hell did you do to my Bismarck? Okay, give me a second. Alright, here we are. The trick was not setting the era to 1940, but to 1937 for the Bismarck, which got me my ship back, as I had designed it for the previous legendary encounters. It's just that the editor is going a bit crazy, and says that some parts are badly placed. Let's see if it does it again. Watch this. I'm going to copy this, and put it there. Oh, now you see... Okay, fine. Just as I was trying to record the bloopers, here we go. When I did this before, these turrets would sit here, or at least I could click them here, and they would sit outside of the ship. At any rate, this is the Bismarck. Don't mind the red. It's not supposed to be there. She's slightly faster at 30.1 knots. She has a very similar amount of protection, although I think only double hull bottom as opposed to triple. Very good, very powerful ship. She fires light shells. Yes, people, this is what she had. At least from what I was able to find. Some people are asking, why did you give Bismarck light shells? It's because what she had. Look at your history books. This gives the 15-inch guns, dual barrel, a reload of 23 seconds. That is quite potent. Although I gave her auto-loader, that might be a bit much. 29.4 second reload, which is still very respectable and quite a bit faster than what the North Carolina has. When it comes to her protection, she is a turtleback armor ship with heavy anti-flooding, torpedo bulge, double hull bottom, and, of course, a nice generous amount of armor. 12.6-inch armor belt, 8.7 fore and aft. This is potentially going to save her against North Carolina. Although, depending on the range, a fore belt of 8.7 plus 112, of course, is not necessarily going to save you from a 16-inch shell. Turret armor, 14.7 with 7 on the top. And she also has a bunch of secondary 6-inch as well as 4-inch. Now, North Carolina has her secondary 5-inch, which is fairly comparable. But at shorter range, the 6-inchers might actually make it through the armor of the North Carolina. We'll just have to see. She also gets a Generation 1 radar rangefinder, stereoscopic 5, very much similar to what the North Carolina has. She is a bit heavier, though. She's 50,460 tons, and that means that she's about 3,000 tons heavier than North Carolina, although about 5,000 tons heavier than what North Carolina was designed to. So not my version of it, but the actual version. All right, now let's put these guys to the test and see which one is going to win. I'm going to hand over control of the North Cal to the AI. And of course, the Bismarck is already under AI control. For some reason, North Carolina decides that turning away is the best action. Not exactly sure why that is, but okay, if she wants to go somewhere else, that's fine. She starts at 21 kilometers with an erection, with an... Alright, let's see. North Carolina starting at 21 kilometer range. Already turning away for some reason. And getting 3.9% chance to hit. That's pretty damn good for first salvo at this range. Ooh, that shell from Bismarck got close. Now, if only the AI ships would recognize the opportunity of going to full speed as opposed to flank speed, because that does give them more accuracy. You can already very clearly see the amount of rate of fire that Bismarck has is far superior to what North Carolina has, but North Carolina scores the first hit, dealing some damage to the main deck and penetrating the main deck for a little bit of damage, but not yet hitting anything critical on Bismarck. Ooh, Bismarck hits and pens the ship with 3 shells, no less, causing a fire and some 5% reduction of strength on this ship. Oh, interesting. She's so heavily angled that her stern and her bow turret can fire, but not the B turret. Interesting angling here for North Carolina. See, I have no idea why the AI just decided to go full turn and turn away like that. It makes no sense. I don't see why North Carolina would want to keep her at range. Well, with her speed, she can't very well keep them at range either. Oh, there we go. Suddenly the AI decides that we're going to switch tactics. And we're going to turn. Okay then. Oh, this superstructure. I really do not like how this ship turned out. I'm sorry, guys. Range 18 clicks. 18-1. And North Carolina turns out again? Why? Is she trying to make herself more difficult of a target by zigzagging? Is that the plan? No actual pens on North Carolina. Sorry, on Bismarck, but one more pen on North Carolina's stern. Nothing too serious, though. No critical components are hit. Accuracy 9.9. Oh, this is problematic. North Carolina's superstructure's been hit. So far, that doesn't impact her too much. But it could be the prelude to her losing her damage control, and more importantly, her fire control. %, ID, 97. Range is close to 13 kilometers. Chance to pen Bismarck is a mere 23%. Bismarck's chance to pen North Carolina is 29 and growing. You're a little bow in, aren't you? Yeah. Pretty good strategy by Bismarck. Maintaining a bow in posture like this. At least an angled one. She might not be able to bring all of her guns to bear. But it means she's also very difficult to damage with even North Carolina's 16-inch shells. Oh. But her superstructure is still fragile. And she takes a damaging hit, which knocks out her conning tower. Leading to Bismarck's accuracy of 10% versus North Carolina's at 24%. That hit could be critical for the rest of the battle. Because this is something you cannot fix. If your conning tower is damaged, that is it. It's not like an engine that you can sometimes repair. Both ships are closing the distance. 10 kilometers only. Another pen from Bismarck. A partial pen only from the 16-inch guns of North Carolina. Really? That's it? Go on. Tell me what your pen chance is. Sometimes this game is so finicky. So it immediately tells me from Bismarck to North Carolina. There. 17%. Jeez. Bismarck is making herself really hard to get. These shells are potentially just gonna... Yep. They ricochet all off the side. Doing no damage whatsoever. So far, Bismarck, I'd say, is doing a little better damage output. 92% structural. North Carolina says that the North Carolina took more damage. But Bismarck has that damaged conning tower. And North Carolina has about twice the accuracy that Bismarck has. She just needs to get the Bismarck to angle a little bit less. And she would probably be able to damage it quite reliably, I think. Damage to a main gun. That's the stern turret's taking a hit. Oh, that was bad. 15-inch guns on aft belt and main belt pen. North Carolina is flooding. I don't care so much about the fires, but the flooding could be a problem. Especially there. And still, she only has 17% chance to pen Bismarck. Bismarck is doing far better, but North Carolina is angling away, trying to reduce the amount of incoming damage. %40 chance to hit. 45. North Carolina, you need to do some damage. You're starting to lose this fight. Oh, more flooding. Stern. Bismarck, still pretty heavily angled, but chance to pen for North Cal is going up. No, it's going down again. Bismarck's angling is on point today. She's doing really well there. Damage to the stern gun on North Carolina. The X turret is taking quite a few hits. More damage to the main tower on Bismarck. 17% chance to pen the North Carolina from Bismarck's current angle. So they're now pretty even. Slight advantage to the North Carolina there. There's the secondary tower. Uh-oh. Yeah, you're completely hampering your own damage ability because you're only using one turret. It's like the AI is trying to retreat with the North Carolina. And of course Bismarck's not letting her. Bismarck still has 500 shells left to inflict as much damage against North Carolina as she can. North Carolina has even more shells, but far less damage output with only one turret. Uh-oh. Rudder damaged. That went right through the belt. Aft belt. Yeah. That must have been quite the lucky hit then. 18%. It's basically the only part of the ship that can be damaged. The aft belt, as well as the superstructure. Even the 6-inch guns from the Bismarck are now starting to deal damage. It's not a lot, but it's starting to add up. %, 18%. Destroyed funnel on North Carolina. She has another one, but it's not going to help your engine efficiency much. %, on Bismarck, 67% on North Carolina. What are you doing? More flooding. There you go. Finally some damage. But again, they did not hit anything critical. Other than the turret that was hit and the secondary tower. Oh, sorry, the main tower, the conning tower. They really haven't been able to do that much. Come on. Just turn already. Make a stand. I know it might take you some damage, but if you can get all your guns to bear and find some better positioning, maybe slow down, then you're gonna have the Bismarck. Because you got the bigger guns, you got the better pen, at least at this range. So let's say about 7,500 meters, 37-inch, 33. North Carolina definitely has the better chance to pen. But Bismarck has about twice the rate of fire. 29 rounds a minute. Oh, sorry, well, that's a bit much. 29-second reload. And this thing, 59. So the Bismarck can output double the amount of shells. Although, under this angle... Nah, the Kaiser and Dora turret aren't actually doing anything. No, it's just A and B. More damage to North Carolina. This is quite the boring fight, with the AI just running away. Just make something happen. Go do something. More flooding. No, that's not what I meant. There's 3 compartments which are starting to fill up. That's going to slow down the North Carolina. 28 knots potentially on Bismarck. North Carolina's going to go to 22 knots. She has the flooding under control. I think we're going to see her buoyancy go back up, especially with that extremely good auxiliary engine. Because surely you can fix this. That's not too bad. 57% structural integrity. More flooding. The stern is starting to get pretty saturated with damage now. Bismarck still a little under 400 shells. Versus still the 600 shells in North Carolina. She just doesn't fire them nearly as quickly as Bismarck. A bit of fire, but that's about it. If only either of these ships switched to high explosive. Destroy the funnel. There you go. Finally some damage by North Carolina. Conning tower damaged. There goes your accuracy, although at this range, even for the North Carolina and her damaged systems, it's pretty difficult to miss with a 53% accuracy. Destroyed another funnel. No, same funnel. Come on, Bismarck. Finish the job. More flooding. Yep, that's the rudder compartment again. Fires. North Carolina is down to about half structural integrity now. Flooding on Bismarck. Right through the bow. Nothing too serious yet. Destroy the secondary gun. That's, I think, that 5-inch gun out of commission. Although the other side, I still don't know how they do it. But maybe a shell penetrates the superstructure and goes right to the other side secondary. Is that how it works? Because these things keep getting destroyed. Even though they're not actually on the side of the ship that's taking fire. A little while later, the North Carolina superstructure has now been completely destroyed. And with her main tower destroyed and her rudder out of action and a bit of flooding, she's going to be only doing 21 knots. This means that Bismarck closes the distance even more. But she might not have enough shells left to finish the job. She only has 264 left. At which point she, I don't think, will be able to finish the job. With her rate of fire and that level of shells and the angle on the North Carolina, I don't see it. She is more or less pulling alongside the North Carolina now, but North Carolina is still angling away. Still trying to reduce the amount of damage, but with this short distance, it doesn't really matter that much anymore. And it's continuously the stern of the North Carolina that keeps getting battered by the 15-inch shells from Bismarck. Structural integrity 43%. Buoyancy 76. Buoyancy is fine. Bismarck's buoyancy is 100%. Now, all of North Carolina's turrets have taken damage, but they're all functional. Not so much for her secondary guns. Quite a few of those have been completely knocked out. Destroyed the main tower. Yeah, we already seen that. Bismarck is playing a dangerous game, pulling alongside and thereby giving more chance to pen to the North Carolina. Whereas she's not gaining that much from it. Oof. Range? 4 kilometers now. There you go. 4 belt pen. No flooding. But Bismarck will take more damage. The secondary tower has been destroyed. This is very bad news for the ship, because it means her damage control ability is far, far worse. Come on, North Cal. Defend your honor and do something. Because you're just slowly being led to slaughter. You're slowly being disassembled by Bismarck. 37% structural integrity. Buoyancy is dropping. 63% holding. No, 62%. I'm definitely going to have to take control of the North Carolina in the next battle and just show Bismarck what's what. Because this is a very poor display of the AI controlling the North Carolina. I thought that North Carolina would pretty easily deal with the Bismarck. I mean, yes, she has less displacement than Bismarck, but she has bigger guns, she has more guns, she has half the rate of fire, but those guns have heavy shells and hit hard. Chance to pen is now 45. Still 18 for Bismarck. Bismarck is still struggling. But North Cal could definitely win this. If she was not running away and using a third of her firepower. Still, Bismarck down to 140 shells now. I think North Carolina might survive it. It's going to be by the skin of her teeth, but she might survive it. Range, 2.5 kilometers. Oh, these impacts are not helping though. 2 engines out on North Carolina, the rudder's out. Still 75% structural on Bismarck. Oh, this is rough. And Bismarck, coming alongside, is continuously increasing her chance to pen. We're looking at 27% now. 20% left on structural integrity on North Carolina. And she just misses at point blank range, 1.8 kilometers, and she misses. Third engine is out. More flooding on the ship. Bismarck's 100 shells at this angle might just do it. Destroyed main gun. The C turret, sorry, the X turret has finally had enough and is no more. Meaning that, especially since North Carolina is turning away more, just cannot return fire. Yeah, she's just getting crippled. More floodings towards the bows. She's lost about 20% of her crew, which is actually not as bad as I was expecting. I thought she would lose more crew, especially considering the state that she's in. 14% structural. Are these 5-inch guns doing anything useful? No. All the shells from the 5-inchers, insofar as they were still functional, have been blocked or ricocheted. North Carolina is supposed to be able to elevate her guns 45 degrees. And is capable of dealing damage to Bismarck. But it looks silly. This is something that they still got to adjust in the game. Which I think is coming in the patch 1.05. 6% buoyancy, sorry, 6% structural left. Even though Bismarck only has 40 shells, she will win this. She just doesn't need to move too far from her current position, or she's going to be looking at the bows of North Carolina and reducing her own chance to pen. Look at that. Bismarck really messed up here. But it might not matter because North Carolina is out of structural integrity. 0.2%. 26 shells left on Bismarck. Well, it took her about all the shells that she had. For main armament, that is. And there she goes. Slipping beneath the waves, North Carolina got defeated by Bismarck. Let's see if I can do better. And I believe I can. Alright, Bismarck, let me show you around. Let me show you how we're going to do this. I'm going to go bow in. At this range, I probably won't pen anyway. We're going to make this a good roll. Chance to hit, about 3%. That's fine. At this range, I think even the deck armor of Bismarck is too heavy. So firing AP shells and hoping for plunging fire, I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm just going to stick to HE for now. We're going to maintain flank speed and close the distance to about 15. Then I'm going to slow down. This is what North Carolina should have done right from the start. Not this whole sailing away act that she was doing. That was terrible. Range 18 kilometers. 17.5. Accuracy 8.3%, that's better. 16.5, 16.4, yeah, let's start to slow down. This really? This momentum's going to carry me quite a bit of the way. Yeah, this thing's going to slow down eventually. Range 14. Accuracy about 13%. Could we kindly do some damage against Bismarck? Even if it is just one hit. I'm going to repay the favor of having lost my funnel already. Not sure where these shells are going. But they're not hitting the Bismarck. Yeah. One fire hit. Well, I got my wish, I guess. The ship is on fire. We're going to have to slow down a bunch more. Because the way that Bismarck's maneuvering, she might just expose the whole broadside of the ship to my hungry super... No, not my hungry super heavy shells. My hungry heavy shells. And I can probably deal quite a bit of damage. Let's angle away a little bit. %. We're going to go for armor piercing. This angle, though, it might just ricochet. Let me see. What do these shells do? Yeah, they'll ricochet. Okay. Because the accuracy is 69%, which is very nice. Speed. I ordered 12 knots. I'm still doing 26.5. Okay. Chance to pen is about 34, 35, 36. In reverse, 20%. I might take some flooding right through the bows, but that's fine. That's a price I'm willing to pay. Because I got 80% chance to pen. Or sorry, 80% chance to hit. 38% chance to pen. And I get 1 fire for my trouble. What? That was not supposed to happen. 15-inch shell penned the main gun. I'm now without a B turret. What's the range? 4.5 kilometers. 36 inches of pen. Yeah, that's enough to pen even the super heavily armored 16-inch guns. Jesus. Okay. That means we're going to have to angle out quite a bit more. To make... Really? To make the X turret useful. Why are we not actually seeing hits like this? This makes no sense. Go on. What? It's like my ship is still trying to do range finding or something. 100% chance to hit. Perfect accuracy. It just splashed off of the Bismarck. This is some next level bullshit. Of course, now I'm very much exposed. Go on. Fire the guns. Here we go. That's more like it. That's more like it. That was a mere 2 hits, main belt pens, both, for about 150 damage. But the sad thing is, Bismarck can do that again every 29 seconds. Versus my reload of 59 seconds. This is not going the way that I would expect it would. Well, at least we got a nice brawl going here. Boom! 366 damage. 499 damage in return. Ouch. We're brawling at 900 meter range. This fight might be over even faster than the previous one. And it's not going to go my way. $253 damage with 3 hits. Flooding and both engines are out on Bismarck. There's a third one. Jesus. 5 hits for 400 damage. I cannot sustain shit like this. I really can't. Ow, 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 ow. At least I'm able to damage Bismarck more, but good lord, the whole ship's flooding. This is terrible. Oh, rudder's out. I'm stuck in a turn. Losing that B turret was not part of the plan. And by RNG, I haven't hit any of their turrets at all. So yeah, this is pretty much done, I think. 1 bit of flooding on the Bismarck. But North Carolina's already down to 18% structural and 52% buoyancy. %. Just dancing around each other at about a kilometer range. 3 hits on Bismarck, damage, flooding. North Carolina 13%, 44% buoyancy. That ricocheted. That didn't. Come on, blow up the magazine or something. We're gonna have to deal some form of damage here. And I'm still only using 1 turret, and I cannot pull my ship out of the turn because my rudder is not functional. Eventually, the rudder is going to respond. But I don't think that there might be a rudder at that point. 61% structural and buoyant on Bismarck. Yeah, North Carolina, at least the way that I was sailing it, not a brawler. Interesting outcome. 1% structural North Carolina, and she's gone. 2-0 to the Bismarck. Yikes. Okay. Well, that settles that. North Carolina loses twice to Bismarck. I don't like how the game still doesn't know what ship this is. I mean, I identified it, so don't be difficult. Anyway, if you can do better, by all means, let me show you, or let me show you. Show me how. Get me a video on your own channel and show me how these things are going. Because I'd love to see a sort of interaction between channels doing these legendary battles. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys soon for more videos.